Okay, everybody. So, recently we've been covering this guy called Wheat Waffles. He's this up-and-coming incel content creator. He usually does these really bizarre, nerdy-ass videos about how, like, he can scientifically break down the dating world and how women work. So now he's upgraded to doing the new, like, incel podcast type of content where like you send your guy out to like with a camera and a microphone to go up to random women in public and ask them random questions, and then like you clip out the videos or the clips or whatever that make them seem bad, like make them seem like they're saying something rude or bad or stupid, and from there you just kind of create a narrative off of the people you're able to get videos off of. So we're going to be looking at a video of him doing that. Matter of fact, I actually saw a video not too far off from that today. And, like, I hate to admit it, but, like, the people criticizing the woman in the clip are themselves, like, you know, they're correct for criticizing her, but it's the incel crowd, you know? Oh my god, Tim Pool has already covered it. Tim Pool, 2 days ago, uploaded a video with 92,000 views covering it, because Tim Pool is himself also an incel. He's gone on rants about how women won't date him and how it must be their fault, and it's the problem of modern women. This video seems to show it. Okay, so this type of video, you know what I'm talking about? Like, this has gotten really popular in, like, the incel, right-wing, red pill podcast sphere. It's sort of like the final form of their content.
If I was your man, and I wanted you to dress more modestly, would you change for me?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
What gives you that idea?
If a man wants me to change and like be more modest and be like his own, I know like if you dress a certain way, like guys want you in a certain way. If I dress like this, guys always look at me like, oh, I'm single. But like if I am with someone, I would rather be more modest, dress more modest in order to like appreciate him as my boyfriend. 1,000%, I'd be dressed as covered.
So in your mind, it's not me being an insecure man not wanting you to come out showing cleavage or, you know, wearing short shorts?
No, of course not. Of course not.
So why do you think so many women tend to label men insecure when they feel that way?
I honestly have no idea. I can't understand it. Like if your man doesn't want you to dress that way, don't dress that way. It's respect. It comes out of respect. If you respect your man, you won't dress a certain way.
Where are you from?
South Africa.
She got it figured out. You know what I mean? Like,
That wasn't even the video I was thinking of, but yeah, this is another incel channel. There's a lot of, like, red pill incel YouTubers that are, specifically targeting, like, a young black demographic instead of, like, your average, like, nerdy, like, video game, neat, incel white boy, like, types. Inceldom takes many shapes and forms. Anyway, so the guy that we're going to be covering today, Wheat Waffles, basically did his own version of that, like, video that we just watched, only he did it on his college campus, just walking up to random women and interviewing them. This ended up getting him expelled because I guess some of the women he approached felt uncomfortable, reported him, and he literally got expelled from his college for this. He made a follow-up video talking about it, but this is the video that got him expelled from his college. We're going to watch a little bit of it first.
He looks really young, like he hasn't hit puberty yet.
I don't know, a bit simpy. I might just...
Yeah, he looks like he's on Tinder.
That's an instant one.
He's very old. He looks, yeah, scary.
Yeah, I think I might have seen this one on Tinder.
Is anyone going to make it to above average or date?
He's a lot better looking, yeah.
Oh, he's hot. He's really hot. I'm saying he's perfect.
What is going on, guys? We've got a super special video for you today. So a couple weeks ago,
The thing that I've noticed, by the way, is you can tell how much these women have a type. Even from his experiment. You can tell how much these women have a type. Like, there are dudes on the list that are, like, objectively better looking. At least, like, I'm not a girl, and I'm not attracted to guys, so I can't really evaluate it in that way. But, like, if I were to see a dude and be like, that's a good-looking dude, and if I were to see a dude and be like, ooh, I'm glad I'm not him, then, like, I think I can make that scale, right? I'd say this guy would probably be higher up on the scale than this guy on most women's lists. And yet this guy's pretty high up on the scale. This guy's pretty high up on the scale for what I think a lot of women would put on their list. As is this guy, and I think this guy would be like higher up on a lot of people's lists, a lot of girls' lists, right? So it's clear here that the stereotypical looking guy isn't getting as rated as highly as you would expect, like the stereotypical what a girl would go after looking guy. A lot of women, especially nowadays, maybe not especially nowadays, but it seems more obvious nowadays due to the internet. Women are a lot more open about the fact that they have types that are unconventional now. There are tons of really hot girls you would think that you would have to be like a strapping, muscle-laden like Chad to have a chance with that are just into you because you're their type, even if you're not traditionally attractive. Guys? A gentleman does not kiss and tell. But what I will say is I have managed to end up with some girls that I, on the like dating tree or on the like the hotness tree, should not have a chance with, simply because of random factors that made me their type. It really is like one of those things you have to consider. Appearance does matter to an extent when dating. I don't think most people want to date someone who's unattractive to them. But what is and isn't attractive to somebody is really subjective. There's obviously good middle grounds, but God, I mean, there's just cases that are surprising, you know? Like, you can go online and look up unlikely couples and see images of, like, guys that are very clearly not being gold dug by any means. Like, you just gotta tell by what they're wearing and, you know, the way they carry themselves and where they're at. Like, it's like a photo in a Walmart parking lot of a guy in, like, you know, basketball shorts and, like, flip-flops and a t-shirt that hasn't been changed in 2 days with a smoke show of a girlfriend. You know, like, that's not uncommon. It's really not uncommon. I see, oh my God, have I seen so many guys in real life walking around with their girlfriends who are way better looking than them. The average girl I see that is attractive dates a guy who is less attractive than her. So many times, so often. Most girls I know that are really attractive and in relationships are in relationships with less attractive looking guys. Like guys that you would think looking at them are like, she's way out of his league, right? And yet, look at them. That's how it tends to go. It's more common now than ever, I feel like. I feel like nowadays, especially, when it comes to women getting more into nerd culture stuff, now more than ever, it's easier to be, like, super passionately into nerd shit, and for that to be an attractive quality to women. Like, people say, like, oh, be passionate about something and have hobbies, and that'll be attractive to women, but not like video games or movies or, like, you know, nerd shit. Like, be into hiking or going outside, but then you're like, but I'm not into that. Right? Like, what if you're not into those suggested hobbies that people tell you women will be into you if you're passionate about? What if you're not passionate about those things? You can't make yourself be passionate about something you're just not. So find women that are attracted to the things that you're passionate about.
Announced a new service which was only available to those who had previously purchased a rating from me before. And that new service is getting your face rated out of 10 by 10 university girls. We've already had a bunch of people pay and sign up, so we're going to be getting those people's results.
Oh my God, this is so sad. This is so sad, dude. God, you know, rest in peace, Yahoo Answers, dude. Way back in the day when I was like 12, maybe 13 at the oldest, I made a Yahoo Answers account when I was in like the midst of my like down on myself in my like teenage like incel phase where I felt like I was ugly and I looked awful. I made a post on Yahoo Answers where I posted a picture of myself and asked if I was ugly. And of course all the comments were nice, but like that was the kind of shit that like you do when you're like a young teenager idiot who's like self-conscious and thinks that they're like must be ugly looking because they haven't had their first relationship yet by 13 or whatever, right? Like that's the kind of thing you grow out of, I feel. But holy shit, the fact that these adult dudes paid to have that done as a service by real women is insane. Fresh and Fit made like $10,000 a day from YouTube super chats alone. It's such a good grift to be an incel/MRA entertainer. It really is, yeah, especially for the proportional audience. These guys don't have money to spend. Like, they're not spending money on dates. So they might as well, like, and they're not going out on dates on Friday nights, so they're spending it at home watching this content, lonely and sad, with money burning a hole in their pocket because they're single dudes who maybe make a decent bit of money. They probably live with their parents, so they have a lot of expendable income. Nothing wrong with it, but, you know, the age demographic would make sense, and that's kind of the state that we're in right now. a lot of Zoomers are going to have to live with their parents well into their 20s, maybe longer. And with that in mind, like, these guys aren't going on dates. They're not talking to girls, so they're paying money to have random girls who are strangers anonymously rate their faces because they want to see the video and, like, either have like a glimmer of hope that some women out there actually find them attractive. Like, there's that hope they have that they end up getting a high rating, but even if they do, they're going to deny it. Like, this guy, and this guy are going to deny their high rating. They're going to see this, and they're going to find some way to rationalize this as a fluke. And then the guys who got rated lower are going to see this as a validation of their awful beliefs. They literally want self-torture, self-pity porn. They want to see a girl say they're not attractive and rate them lower anonymously with a photo so they can watch that and feel bad for themselves for it. That is what they are looking for. I promise you. It is genuinely some of the saddest shit you can possibly imagine.
Today, and lastly, if you've missed this time, don't worry, because we're going to be launching it again, so make sure you keep watching till the very end to see.
This guy is aggressively ginger. I tried not to comment on it because I don't want to be racist, but this guy is aggressively ginger, and I am racist against gingers. I do ascribe to the South Park theory of they have no souls. Yep, no souls. Yep. Except for when women are gingers. It is pretty hot when women are gingers, but when guys are gingers, no soul. Yep, I'm racist against gingers, guys. I'm sorry. Anti-white racist. Have you seen gingers? They're not white. They're like pink. I've never seen a white ginger. They turn pink like the second they go outside. Look at this man.
See how you can be in the next one. But now let's get on with the video. First up we have Adam.
No, I don't like his hair. I don't like his beard. Facial hair is not.
1.
Yeah, a 1.
Nice.
I don't know, a bit simpy. I might just.
A bit simpy.
Yeah. I don't think he's lying.
I'm not sure about his eyes, maybe, and his hair. Sorry. I'm not really a fan of the hair, to be honest. So I'm gonna put friend zone him.
Oh God. 1.
Oh, 2.
You can tell which of these women are, like, mean and, like, typically very vain and, like, out up front with, like, no, I'm not, like, you're hideous, I'm not going to date you. And which of these women would be, like, if you like, asked them out and they weren't into you, would be, like, really nice about letting you down, right? Like, this girl's, like, really trying not to be mean. Like, she's humoring this guy and probably doesn't want to be here. And she's, like, doesn't want to be mean to the dude in the photo. And she doesn't want to seem mean, and she's probably not a very mean person. And so she's, like, trying to be as nice as possible. Like, you can see, like, how, like, believe it or not, this incel content actually showcases how diverse the amount of personality women tend to have are. Because they're people. And different people have different personalities, different standards. They're going to rate people differently. Their standards are going to be different. Like, they're just... Women are not this amorphous blob that you can make an entire channel about, like, analyzing the psychology of for the benefit of men in the dating world. It's just not a thing you can do.
He's very old. He looks, scary.
Old? I don't know. He's old. He's blonde. He has long hair. No. Yeah.
He has like a kind face, but I wouldn't say I find him personally very attractive. Oh, it's magnetic. Okay.
He's got nice hair. I'd probably say I'm probably gonna have to go friend zone though.
Friend zone.
So the interesting thing about this content that you have to remember is that this isn't content meant to shame women for not being attracted to these men. You have to remember that. The incels, while they do hate women for not being attracted to them, they hate themselves for not meeting the standard that women are attracted to more. If incels could snap their fingers and have a world where they meet the standards that would make them a Giga Chad or whatever, or they could completely destroy the standards and make it so that women's standards apply to them, they would change themselves, because deep down they are insecure with themselves, they aren't happy with themselves, and they wish that they applied, or that that the definition of Chad applied to them, because they put so much stock in it. It's similar to men and dick size, I think. Like, I think of a lot of dudes, like if you're a dude with a big dick, you've got a big dick mostly for other dudes, kinda, you know? Like, come on. Like, mostly when you talk about it, it's with the boys, and, like, obviously when a girl finds out, it's great, and it's like, you know, oh, yay, let's go. But, like, it's mostly a thing for the boys, you know? You're like, all right, time for the cock inspection, the weekly cock inspection, and, you know, you all whip it out and everything. But, like, in all seriousness, though, when dudes talk about having a big dick or whatever, it's mostly for other guys, right? Like, dudes want to have a big dick because of other guys. Most women are not size queens. They like it if you can pack, like, some heat. You know, they tend to like it, but they're not size queens the vast majority of the time. Like, if you are well endowed, so to say, and you leave that, like, a mystery, like, you don't let that be known until the time comes for her to see it in person, and she's surprised, all the better, right? All the better if she's pleasantly surprised. It's always nice. However, you don't need to, like, you don't need to worry about it, right? Like, most women aren't going to have that be the make or break. It's generally something that guys want because of other guys. With that in mind, the Chad and incel thing is much the same. Most guys want to be a Chad. They want to have muscles and, like, work out and be tall or be just attractive to women. Not because being attractive to lots of women is all that much of a benefit they strive for, but because they want that as a way of getting respect from other men. Most of these incel dudes feel like they don't meet the standard of what a man should be, and that other men, other real men, would look down on them. But if they could meet that standard, then real men would respect them. So they are both seeking the validation of society, but particularly the validation of other men that they look up to and see as being Chads. Frankly, many of these guys do not like the idea of having lots of women actually be with them. Like, they actually don't like the idea of having lots of women go after them. Like, what they actually fantasize about is having lots of women go after them and having the, what they would say, the luxury of rejecting them. Haven't you seen how much additional incel content is actually about, like, how epic Chad dudes reject women that come onto them? And, like, championing the guy as a Chad for rejecting a woman for coming onto him? Because they fantasize about being so attractive to women that they get to reject women. Something pretty uncommon for guys to be able to do unless they are very attractive and very appealing to women. Yeah, big dicks only impress other men. Most women just want you to either know how to eat pussy or not be afraid to use something that vibrates. That is honestly true. I think most women would probably take a guy with, like, a medium or even under average sized dick who would be willing to eat pussy and use a vibrator as, like, a sidearm, as I like to call it, because it's funny. Than, like, a guy who just has a big dick but refuses to do anything creative you know? That's probably true. Yeah. That's probably true. Anyway, Wheat Waffles also put out a video called It's Over. I got expelled for approaching girls on campus. This was a sidearm. Yeah, I like calling it a sidearm. It's funny. Anyway, so basically, he put out a video about how he got expelled for making that video we just watched. Xan, is switching to your sidearm always faster than reloading? Yeah, because after you nut, like, you have to wait for your balls to recharge. So yeah, using your sidearm is faster than reloading. And then, like, your tongue is like knifing.
They come over to me, and I'm encircled by these 5 security guards now. And the first one speaks up, and he says, "Excuse me, mate, so what do you think you're doing?" And I say,
"Oi,
I'm
mate.
recording a video." And he says, "Well, we've been getting complaints that you've been going around harassing the girls on the campus." And then
This means that the women that he was approaching were complaining to security. Obviously they would, because the dudes who do these videos are basically harassing most of the women they encounter. Only, like, a fraction of the women they approach aren't freaked out enough to run away and actually agree to it. Eating pussy is like knifing? Well, no, using your tongue is like switching to your knife in, like, an FPS game. Like, you've used your rifle, you've used your sidearm, and now you've had to switch to your knife.
Taken aback, and I'm thinking, well, I say, okay, who's made these complaints, and what have they said? And then he says, well...
What?
Okay, guys, today I have a...
What? Preview? What was that? Okay, so I guess that was his preview he played? What was that editing? I'm gonna speed this up. This guy talks slow.
Very important video, because in the last week, as I was recording the next Unigirls face rating video, a very serious accusation had been made against me. To put it simply, I had been accused of harassment, and that resulted in my expulsion from the campus. Just to clear up one potential misunderstanding, I didn't get expelled from the university. A better word maybe to use is banished or removed. Essentially, I'm not allowed to come back, but I'm 100% certain that if...
It's a shame this guy's such a shithead incel, because I'd like to compliment him on this, because it's a cool feature. This guy has that thing where you have 2 different colored eyes. Like, Graha Tia in FF14. That's a different thing, but he has different colored eyes. Heterochromia, yeah, he's got 2 different colored eyes. His left eye is blue, and his right eye is like a greenish thing. Yeah, he's got 2 different eye colors.
If I was enrolled in a course at the university, there would have been a very, very serious implications to follow. I almost definitely would have been
he's going to be important
expelled
later,
from
clearly,
whatever course I was
Maddie
doing.
Kitten.
They took my details to security guards, and there's...
I assume that every plot point set up in, like, A Realm Reborn, like, even the slightest hint is going to come around again, real importantly, particularly in Shadowbringers and Endwalker. I've been told Shadowbringers is just f***ing insanely good. Like, Shadowbringers is when the game, like, started to become famous and popular and blew up because the fan base was, like, mind blown by how good Shadowbringers was, and then, like, told everybody and started, like, talking it up, and then people started joining, realizing how good Shadowbringers was, and, like, Shadowbringers is what made the game, like, what it is now in its popularity. And then Endwalker came once it was already popular, and was also really award-winning. So Shadowbringers is, like, the expansion where things start to get real. It's like the Season 4 of Breaking Bad, like, equivalent in where things start to get real. Endwalker's just as good, in my opinion. I heard. I'm also... So, for those that don't know, obviously, I'll be playing Dark Knight through Shadowbringers, so I'm doing it right. Doing it right. Anyway.
Still potentially charges to come. We'll see what happens. Hopefully this is the end of it, as I explained the story, but it seems that whatever's happened has been very, very serious, and it's been taken very, very seriously. And just before I get into explaining the story, to give a little bit of background, as you guys know, I record interview videos. I'll just bring a couple on the screen here now. These have been quite popular, as you can see, 70k views, 200k views, the last few that I've uploaded. And as you can imagine, the way that I make these videos is I go to the campus and...
So, unfortunately for this guy and the guys who make these videos, approaching random women in public that don't know you and asking them to rate the attractiveness of, like, random men is not, like, appropriate behavior. Like, a school is absolutely in its rights to remove you from campus and, like, penalize you for that type of behavior. Without a doubt, yeah.
And I approach lots and lots and lots of girls. The conversion rate usually settles in at around 40%. I'm reasonably efficient at getting girls to agree to be on it.
But yeah, most of them are creeped out and are like, no, you fucking weirdo, and then go and, like, report you to the security because you're a weirdo approaching random women with a sign.
And I have a reasonably decent system. If you want to see how it works, then I actually have another video on the second channel where I show a longer interaction. I'd highly recommend checking out that video after you watch this one. It's a 2.5 minute interaction with 2 girls, and you can see I just break down all of the techniques and strategies I use to increase the chance that some girls will be happy to help out and participate in the video. But just to keep things nice and short, for this video, I've got a short interaction of me going...
That is the creepiest way he could have said that.
...going up to a girl. And this one's only about 10-15 seconds long, and this was actually the worst interaction of the day. So I'll just show you what happened. Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt. I know you're probably in the middle of a... You've got your headphones on or something. Okay, sorry to interrupt you. I know you're probably in the middle of a really important message or something like that. But me and my friend, we're recording a video today. And...
thanks.
Okay, you definitely sure?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So, as you can see, that...
Yeah, that's how it mostly goes, I imagine, because they are doing their own thing and you're a weirdo approaching them on the street. You're a stranger, and they don't know you, and you're a weirdo. You're a weirdo incel with a YouTube channel, and there's a guy standing 10 feet away with a camera trained on her.
That just gives you a basic idea of how the approaches go down. And as I've said, this was the
hiding
worst
in the bushes
interaction. I was quite caught off guard that she just immediately said, no thanks, I'm out. But that's as bad as it gets, really.
She probably thought he was trying to film a porno. Oh, that's actually a good point. That is how a lot of those pornos start. Those are all fake, though. But the thing is, yeah, she probably saw one of those and was like, nope, I'm not getting roped into one of these.
Are very sincere, and they at least, you know, give you the...
Holy she is taller than him. Dude, okay, guys. Not often do I encounter women who are taller than me, but when I do, it's because they are tall. Like tall. I encountered a woman who was taller than me by a lot the other day, and she works at the dispensary I go to. Like, and she's taller than me by, like, more than 6 inches. Like, my eyes are at her chin, okay? Like, she's taller than me, dude. And it is wild. It is a feeling I have not felt since I was a kid, to be able to, like, see a woman who is taller than me. I kind of like it.
Time of day, they want to find out a bit more. And I show that in the video on the second channel. I 10,000% recommend watching that video after this one, by the way. It's probably the best video I've uploaded to the second channel. But anyway, that just gives you a basic idea of, even at the worst case scenario, this is how respectful it still is. And I don't think for 1 second it constitutes harassment. So I'm honestly baffled that I've even been accused of this. But anyway, now let me get into the actual story of how I was accused. So at this particular part of the day, we had already recorded 8 recordings so far. So we'd had 8 girls who had already agreed to be in the video, and we only needed 2 more. And we were sitting on this grass area, and then I see, in the corner of my eye, some security guards walking over to us. And then there was a couple behind us as well, and one more that was all walking into our direction.
Imagine making a video about how you got kicked off of your school campus by security for accosting women, and, like, posting that online as if you like, are the victim of something.
So at this part, I was like, this is interesting. This is a bit funny. I wonder what these guys are looking for. Maybe they're just trying to see what I'm doing. Maybe they just want to see what it's about. Anyway, they come over to us, and I see them talking in their little walkie-talkies, and I overhear one of them. He's like, yeah, this is the guy. We're just about to engage with him now. So they come over to me, and I'm encircled by these 5 security guards now. And the first one speaks up, and he says, excuse me, mate, so what do you think you're doing? And I say, I'm recording a video. And he says, well, we've been getting complaints that you've been going around harassing the girls on the campus. And then I am taken aback, and I'm thinking, well, I say, okay, who's made these complaints, and what have they said? And then he says, well, we've received an emergency alert on our app, which alerts all of the security guards that there's been a report of harassment. And at this point, I'm starting to get in a little bit more of an understanding of what's happened. So basically, there's...
You know what's funny? Is that these YouTuber types feel like they're immune to public standards of, like, real-life social expectations, you know? Like, when I am gonna film a video in public on my phone, I find, like, a quiet, secluded spot where my talking somewhat loudly into a camera isn't gonna annoy or bother people. And like, upset them. I don't, like, approach random strangers in public and, like, accost them with shit. The most I do is say, hi, hope you have a good one, if we, like hello, or good morning if I pass them on the street. Because I like to say hi to strangers, but that's it. Besides that, like, generally speaking, I see so many YouTubers who feel as though they're immune to social standards of real life. Like, if they have their camera with them and their audience is there in their mind, then they've got so many people cheering them on, it, like, nullifies the social embarrassment of the things they're doing in real life. Does that make sense? Like, only so many people can see you in real life and make fun of you, but if the entire internet is cheering you on, then that's so many more people who think you're not embarrassing yourself. It, like, cancels out the embarrassment of doing something embarrassing in real life. It's like the Filthy Frank effect. Like, yeah, Filthy Frank was doing really embarrassing shit in public, and if you saw someone doing what he was doing in public, you would, like, think very little of them, but you were seeing him on the internet, and everyone else was clapping for it. And so behavior that would be, you know, completely unacceptable in real life is seen as funny because it's online. And I love Filthy Frank, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not shitting on Filthy Frank by any means, but I think it's a good example of how the internet can put a lot of content creators into the mind space that they have transcended real life people's opinions mattering. People's opinions online start to matter more than people's real life opinions of you. When the online people are more real to you than the people real in front of you are officially have brainworms, yeah. That's basically what's happened. The internet people are more real to him than real people.
An app which is provided by the university and allows people to report misconduct or any inappropriate behaviour, and I also think it's used for snuggle struggle, if you guys know what I mean when I say that. So that's what has been happening.
Dude, all these grifters are so desperate to make money they won't say the word rape in their videos because they really want to get the green dollar sign for the money. Yeah, he's finding an ad-friendly word to use in the place of rape because he's just such a grifter. And I guess too lazy to edit out the word. Like, he could have just said it and then edited it out if he wanted to get monetized. Or essay. You could say essay.
Next thing that the security guard said, I remember this quote exactly. I remember exactly what he said. I actually have it written down. So, what you been doing? Have you been going around asking the girls if they want to go out with you? And I say, no, I've just been making a video. And then I say after, and even if I was approaching the girls, trying to date them, what would be the issue? And this is the important part. And then he said back to me, and this is the part that I exactly remember. We don't want any girls being harassed on campus, and it's our job to make sure this is a safe space where the girls feel comfortable.
Is he gonna get mad at the term safe space being used in the context of women being comfortable if they're not gonna get harassed by random men? Like, you made these women uncomfortable. What can I say? Like, I'm sorry that, like, you're a weirdo and this kind of stuff doesn't fly in public.
And as soon as he said that, that exposed exactly what I predicted. And it shows that approaching women, well, at least in the eyes of the security and in the woman that's reported me, you're not allowed to approach women anymore. It is...
Okay, this was never okay, alright? I'm sorry, but women don't like being approached and asked out. They don't like being approached by strangers at all. And honestly, guys don't either. If I was walking down the street doing my, like, random chores with my headphones in, my, like, earbuds in, like, walking to go, like, pick up vapes and get groceries and stuff, and some random guy stopped to, like, put a camera in my face and a microphone to, like, ask me questions, I'd be pretty goddamn annoyed. I'd be pretty fucking annoyed, and just on that aspect alone, I'd want to tell that guy to fuck off and go on with my day. Not to mention, there's certainly rules around this on campus, because having it be allowed that random guys can approach every girl on the campus and ask them out is not okay. He may not be repeating, like, that type of behavior wouldn't be getting repeated to the same person in that scenario necessarily, but they still account for in their rules the same person just harassing multiple women trying to ask them out. Like, it's just not allowed. It's not socially acceptable behavior. That he just doesn't realize why it's creepy and why the security was right to kick him out. It's pretty funny, though. It is pretty funny that he doesn't see why he's such a creep.